So today we're going to be talking about why are your customers not using your online product or service as much as expected. First of all, the obvious question, why is this important? And I guess the answer is equally obvious. Low usage sends a clear signal that something is not right with your product or service. Whether it's the user experience or more fundamental aspects, this is what we're going to discuss today. And of course, if these sort of problems are not addressed, this can lead to serious problems such as declining market share, rising customer churn, and generally a decline in customer satisfaction and loyalty. Let's have a look at 7 key reasons that this could be happening. Very briefly, if we haven't met before, my name's Anthony Davis. I've been involved in digital design for over 20 years, and more recently 17 years as a user experience researcher and designer, involved in the creation of online products of all shapes and sizes. So I'm going to be covering 7 main issues that can cause customer usage of your online product or service to drop off, so that you can be aware of these areas and take any action that's required to get your product or service back on track and get the customer usage back up to where it should be. To keep this video nice and short, I'm just going to touch on the 7 key areas that you need to be aware of, and later on I'll do one video for each of the 7 areas to give you more of an idea of how you can diagnose it and the steps you can take to correct any issues. So without any further ado, let's take a look at 7 common areas that I think you should consider. Number 1, and arguably the most important one, utility or usefulness. How useful is your product as a whole? And also, how useful are the various pieces of functionality and content? And it's important to be mindful that what was highly useful 1 year ago may not be so useful at this point in time, based on market developments and increasing competition, etc. Number 2, ease of use. Second only to utility and usefulness, this one is generally about how easy is it for customers to get done what they need to do. Are there any pinch points? Where are they getting stuck or confused? And if they are, this needs to be addressed quite urgently. And there's various different ways to diagnose and address these things. Number 3, onboarding. Getting new users up and running quickly and effectively is obviously very, very important and varies enormously depending on the complexity of your product and the sophistication of your users. Multiple ways to tackle this, but suffice to say, if users never quite get to grips with your online product or service, usage will suffer. Number 4, convenience of use. This one is like a younger sibling of ease of use. How well is the user looked after, up to and including the very end of the user journey? Are things effortless and convenient? Are the common tasks that they need to achieve absolutely as convenient as possible, so that the overall user journey is straightforward and even pleasurable, if we can get that far? Number 5, visual appeal. Now, some of you may have expected this to be higher up on the list, but I can tell you, whilst it's super important, it's certainly not the top dog. Visual appeal, though, sets the whole tone for usage, and if that's off, dated, or just generally unappealing, it sends signals to the users that the actual functionality and content may be of a similar standard. So visual appeal is super crucial, and on many products, it's just a question of a simple, elegant visual design which encourages the use of functionality and consumption of content rather than being the main event itself. Number 6, engaging interactions. Again, arguably another junior relative of ease of use, but this one is all about how engaging and straightforward are the general interactions on your online product or service. Are they straightforward, drawing the user in, or are there things about those interactions which are just a bit clunky and cumbersome? Of course, it's your core interactions that users are using all the time, which you need to be ultra streamlined and put extra effort into making sure that they are as engaging and pleasurable to use as possible. And number 7, quite an obvious one, but as barriers to entry come down, increased competition is a challenge, especially if they're outperforming you on the list of 6 items above, and most importantly with regards to points 1 and 2, because if your competition is coming through with more useful products, features and content, and the ease of use is superior, you are going to notice they start to drift towards the competing products. And so, stating the obvious, it's super important to keep a close eye on the competitive landscape. So there you have it. There's the 7 key areas that I think you need to think about, and don't forget to look out for subsequent videos where I'm going to cover each one in a little bit more detail. And if you enjoyed this video, keep an eye out for my free masterclass where I share with you 4 essential keys to transform a struggling online product or service into a thriving, innovative market leader. So thanks for watching. Please do leave a comment. I'm sure there's some areas in this video that are open for hot debate, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.